What happens if you walk 8,000 steps a day for 30 days? Not as exercise, not as a workout, just as a daily rule. Most people assume the benefits are obvious. Better fitness, maybe some weight loss, but the real changes don't show up where you expect. They show up at work, in your energy, in how you stand, move, and talk, in the way people respond to you. This is a 30-day challenge, and the transformation doesn't happen all at once. Day 1 feels uncomfortable. Day 10 feels different. Day 20, people start to notice. Day 30, well, that's where the real magic happens. Let's break down exactly what changes and when. Day 1 to 3, resistance and friction. Day 1 doesn't feel inspiring, it feels inconvenient. You wake up with good intentions, but 8,000 steps immediately sound louder than they should. But 8,000 is only a number. Picture this instead, about an hour and a half of walking. You start doing math in your head. Where am I supposed to fit this in? Work, errands, messages, deadlines. Walking feels like something extra, not something that belongs. The first few days are awkward. You're aware of your body in a way you're not used to. Legs feel heavy. Feet notice the ground more. Your posture feels slightly off, like you've been sitting too long, which you probably have. Even your pace feels strange, either too rushed or too slow. At work, you notice it first when you stand up. Getting out of your chair takes a second longer than you expected. Stairs feel louder in your body. You're not in pain, but you're aware. Very aware. Even simple movements, reaching for a cup, bending to pick something up, remind you that your body hasn't been asked to move like this consistently. Mentally, there's friction too. Your brain keeps asking why. Why walk when you're tired? Why not just sit? Why does this feel harder than it should? Conversations stay the same, but your patience feels shorter by the end of the day. You're slightly drained, not exhausted, just used up. No compliments, no visible changes, no motivation spike, just resistance. But something important is happening quietly, not a transformation, more like an interruption. You're breaking the default pattern of sitting, scrolling, and conserving energy. Your body doesn't trust it yet. It's cautious, watching, learning. Even small tasks feel like mini movements towards something bigger. By day 3, the resistance peaks. Your body hasn't adapted, your mind hasn't bought in, and yet you've shown up 3 times. That's the first crack in the old routine. Your baseline is shifting, you've begun opening a door your body forgot existed. The journey is subtle, but it's real. Day 4 to 9, adaptation begins. Somewhere around day 4, the friction eases, not because it disappears, but because your body stops pushing back so loudly. Walking starts to fit into your day instead of competing with it. You take calls while moving. You park slightly farther without overthinking it. You notice yourself choosing to stand instead of sit while waiting. Small movements that used to feel like chores now feel effortless. Even grabbing something from a high shelf or bending to pick up groceries doesn't leave you catching your breath. At work, something subtle shifts. You're less stiff after long periods at your desk. Your posture feels better while typing or presenting. You don't rush to sit the moment you get home. Your body feels more available, like it's ready instead of braced. Tasks that once felt draining, walking to a meeting, climbing stairs, or moving boxes, suddenly feel easier, smoother. Energy doesn't spike, but it evens out. You're not buzzing, you're steady. Afternoon slumps don't hit as hard. You're still tired, but it's cleaner. Less foggy, less irritable. You respond instead of react. Emails don't feel as heavy. Conversations don't drain you as quickly. You notice your voice feels steadier, your gestures more confident. Your movement looks different too. Strides smoother, shoulders less tense. You're not exercising, but you're clearly more active. You'd notice how your clothes sit better by the end of the day. Not looser, just right. Socially, you show up a bit differently. You listen better. You're less restless during conversations. You don't feel the urge to check your phone as often while talking. Eye contact lasts longer, presence improves. You catch yourself smiling more naturally. Compliments might start trickling in, not for dramatic change, but for subtle energy, posture, and calm that others notice. And here's the key moment. Walking stops feeling like a task. It becomes neutral, then normal. You still have to think about it, but you're no longer negotiating with yourself every time. Your body warms up faster. The first 10 minutes don't feel stiff anymore. By day 9, you're not doing this because you're disciplined. You're doing it because it no longer costs as much. That's adaptation. You've started becoming the version of yourself who moves without effort, who exists with steadier energy, and whose presence quietly shifts the environment around them. Day 10, the first turning point. Day 10 is the first day something clicks. Not dramatically, not emotionally, practically. You realize you're already halfway through your steps before you consciously think about them. Your body moves without complaint. Walking feels like part of your day, not a separate event. Small movements, once tiring, now feel automatic. Reaching overhead, bending down, pacing while thinking. Even errands feel lighter, less like chores and more like seamless motion. At work, you notice the difference clearly. You sit longer without feeling compressed. You stand up without that familiar stiffness. Meetings feel easier to sit through, not because they're shorter, but because your body isn't screaming for movement. Your energy carries you through afternoon tasks. You notice fewer yawns, less fidgeting, and more consistent focus during calls. Tasks that once felt dragging now feel manageable, even pleasant. Your confidence shifts quietly. Posture improves, movements feel intentional, people start responding to that. A comment slips in. You look more energized. Someone asks if you've changed your routine. Another says you seem more focused lately. Even casual interactions carry subtle hints that you're more present. Friends notice when you walk into the room. Colleagues notice when you present ideas or contribute in meetings. Exercise feels different too. If you already work out, it feels smoother. Less warm-up time, better flow. If you don't, everyday movement feels like exercise without the pressure. Carrying groceries, taking stairs, standing longer, walking up hills doesn't sap your energy as before. Mentally, the noise turns down. Thoughts don't pile up as fast. Stress still exists, but it doesn't hijack you immediately. You recover quicker from bad news, long days, small annoyances. Focus is sharper, decision-making easier. This is the first real reward, not results. Trust. Your body starts trusting you, and you start trusting your body. 8,000 steps no longer feel like a challenge. They feel like a foundation. And this is only day 10. The next 20 days will transform that foundation into something you can see, feel, and carry into every part of your life. Day 11 to 19, momentum phase. By day 11, walking stops being something you do and starts becoming something you carry with you. Momentum shows up first in how quickly your body responds that you don't need a warm-up anymore. The first steps don't feel stiff. Your legs fall into rhythm almost immediately, like they've been waiting for the signal. Your day feels smoother overall. Transitions, bed to work to errands, errands to evening, feel less jarring. You're not dragging yourself from one phase to the next. There's continuity. At work, endurance improves in quiet ways. Long hours don't hit as hard. You stay mentally present deeper into the day. Tasks that used to feel draining now feel manageable. Not exciting, manageable. And that's powerful. You start moving more confidently through space. You walk faster without trying. You stop hesitating before stairs. You stand during calls naturally. Sitting for too long actually feels uncomfortable now. Not painful, just unnecessary. This is when exercise changes too. And if you work out, sessions feel more controlled. You recover faster between sets. Your breathing steadies quicker. If you don't work out, you notice something surprising. Your body still feels trained. Stronger, more capable. Energy becomes predictable. No sharp spikes, no sudden crashes. You know how you'll feel in the afternoon. And that certainty reduces stress on its own. Clothes start telling the story before the mirror does. Waistbands sit easier. Shoulders look broader. Your silhouette looks more balanced even if the scale hasn't moved much. Most importantly, effort feels proportional again. You move and your body responds. No argument, no delay. That's momentum. Day 20, visible confidence shift. Day 20 is where other people start noticing without you prompting them. Your posture is different. You stand taller without thinking about it. Your walk has direction, not rushed, not sluggish, purposeful. Your movements feel lighter. You shift from moving just to moving with intention. Even small gestures, reaching for a cup, picking up a file, feel coordinated, smooth, and natural. At work, your presence shifts. You enter rooms differently. You speak a little slower. You don't fidget as much. You hold eye contact longer. Confidence isn't something you perform, it's something your body signals. Meetings feel easier, people listen more attentively, colleagues notice your energy and focus. Tasks that used to feel draining now feel manageable. You complete work with fewer pauses, fewer mental hiccups. Someone comments on it. You look sharper lately. Did you lose weight? You seem more energized. You didn't rehearse this, it just shows. Your voice carries better because your breathing is calmer. You don't interrupt as much because your thoughts aren't racing. Conversations flow instead of feeling transactional. Friends notice your energy during social events. You participate more actively in activities, walking, playing with kids, running errands, without feeling exhausted. Physically, your body feels dependable. You trust it. You lean into movement instead of bracing against it. Carrying things feels easier. Standing longer doesn't drain you. You don't calculate energy anymore. You spend it. You notice subtle stamina gains during exercise, climbing stairs, or carrying groceries. Your core and legs engage naturally, supporting every movement. This is the day walking stops being about steps and starts being about identity. You move like someone who moves regularly. Your body, mind, and presence all tell the same story. Capable, steady, confident, and undeniably alive. Day 21 to 24, social and work benefits. This phase is where the real-life benefits stack up. At work, productivity improves without intensity. You don't push harder, you last longer. Focus holds. You finish tasks without needing recovery breaks. Your patience improves in meetings. You respond instead of react. Small annoyances no longer hijack your day. Emails, deadlines, and multitasking feel less like pressure and more like rhythm. Decisions come faster because your brain isn't bogged down by fatigue. You think ahead instead of scrambling to catch up. Communication sharpens, you listen better. You don't rush your words. You're less defensive, less tired. People notice that. Meetings flow smoother. Colleagues are more willing to collaborate because you bring calm and clarity rather than chaos and distraction. Even casual check-ins feel lighter. You project energy without trying. Socially, energy opens doors. You say yes more. Walks turn into conversations. Conversations turn into plans. You're more present because your body isn't pulling your attention inward. Friends notice subtle changes. You keep up longer during outings, and you show up consistently. Laughter feels easier. Compliments start coming in naturally. You seem different, more alive. You're glowing lately. Small acknowledgments reinforce the habit in a way that science can't fully measure. Physically, your body looks organized, leaner in motion, balanced. Not dramatic, not over-the-top athletic, just capable. You move with intention and control. Standing, bending, climbing stairs, or carrying items feels effortless. Your colleagues notice your energy during the workday. Even at lunch or during casual chats, your presence is steadier, calmer, and more engaging. By day 24, walking isn't a habit anymore, it's infrastructure. It supports your work, your social life, your energy, and your presence. Your life runs better because your body does. Every step you've taken is reinforcing more than just your legs. It's reinforcing your focus, stamina, confidence, and reliability. And you're about to reach the phase where it locks in permanently. Day 25. Identity Lock-in. Day 25 is subtle, but permanent. This is the day you stop thinking of walking as a challenge and start seeing it as who you are now. Not consciously. It just shows up in behavior. You don't negotiate with yourself anymore. You don't wait for motivation. If there's time, you walk. If there isn't, you create it without resentment. It feels normal, like showering or checking your phone. Your body feels dependable. That's the biggest shift. You trust it to show up when needed. Long days don't scare you. Unexpected plans don't drain you before they even begin. You know you can handle movement, standing, pacing, carrying, thinking without crashing. At work, this trust changes how you operate. You don't rush through tasks just to get them done. Your attention lasts longer. Stressful situations no longer derail you. You notice you recover faster after intense discussions or last-minute changes. Productivity rises naturally without forcing it. Your posture reflects this internal shift. You don't slouch into conversations. You don't fold in on yourself when stressed. You occupy space comfortably, not aggressively, comfortably. That comfort translates socially. People read it as confidence, and you don't overshare, you don't over-explain. You speak when you have something to say, and when you do, it lands. Physically, your body feels organized. Movements connect. Steps flow. There's less wasted effort in everything you do, from standing up to turning corners to changing direction mid-walk. Your endurance feels natural. Even long errands or casual sports feel easier. This is identity lock-in. You move like someone who moves every day. And once that happens, going back feels unnatural. You are no longer walking for change. You are walking because it is now a part of who you are. Day 26 to 29. The new normal. These days don't feel exciting, and that's the win. By day 26, benefits stop announcing themselves. They just exist in the background, supporting your life quietly. Energy stays consistent. You don't think about it anymore. You just notice that you're not tired when you expect to be. Afternoons feel usable. Evenings don't feel like recovery time. Your body handles stress better. Not because life is calmer, but because you are. When pressure hits, your breathing doesn't tighten. Your shoulders don't creep up. You stay physically grounded, which keeps emotions from spiraling. Workdays flow. You finish what you start. You don't dread meetings, standing, pacing, thinking on your feet. All feel natural now. You're more articulate because your mind isn't fighting fatigue. Exercise, if you do it, feels easier to recover from. If you don't, your body still feels trained. Strong enough. Ready. Socially, you show up differently. You don't cancel plans out of exhaustion. You don't check out halfway through conversations. People feel your presence because you're actually there. Small details become noticeable. You walk with steadiness instead of hesitation. Your gestures feel more fluid. Even typing at work or carrying groceries feels lighter. Friends may start complimenting subtle changes. You look energized, or something's different, you're glowing. Your confidence no longer requires explanation. It shows naturally. Your body looks aligned. Not dramatically different, but unmistakably healthier. Clothes sit better. Your stance is open. Your movements look intentional instead of hesitant. This is the new normal. Movement without friction, energy without force, confidence without performance. And now, it's time to see what 30 days actually builds. Day 30. The transformation. Day 30 doesn't feel dramatic, it feels solid. You wake up and realize this isn't a phase. It's a baseline. Your body moves without resistance. Standing, walking, lifting, turning, everything feels efficient. You don't brace yourself before movement. You just move. Mentally, clarity is steady. Focus doesn't require effort. Stress doesn't hijack you. You process challenges instead of reacting to them. That alone changes how people experience you. At work, you're reliable in a new way, not just productive, but consistent. People trust your energy, your follow-through, your presence. You notice small compliments from colleagues. You seem more focused, or you handle pressure well. Meetings feel easier. Collaboration flows naturally because your body and mind are aligned. Socially, you carry yourself differently. Friends notice. Colleagues notice. Not because you announce anything, but because your body communicates it for you. Your gestures are confident. Your posture signals energy and balance. Conversations feel easier. You smile more and eye contact feels natural. Physically, your body is capable. Walking stairs, carrying items, or standing for long periods feels effortless. Movements feel connected, coordinated, and powerful. You trust your body fully. You look healthier. You sound calmer. You act more grounded. This is the transformation people miss when they chase extremes. It's not about exhaustion. It's not about pushing harder. It's about alignment. 30 days of 8,000 steps didn't just change how much you moved, it changed how you live inside your body. It changed how the world experiences you. And here's the truth. Most challenges won't tell you, you don't need to commit to 30 days today. You just need to start with one. One day, one walk. One decision to let your body remember what it's built to do. Take 8,000 steps once. Notice how you feel afterward. Then decide if you want that feeling again tomorrow. If this resonated, hit like, subscribe, and turn on notifications so you don't miss what comes next. And tell me in the comments, what day are you starting? Someone else reading your comment might need that push more than you think. This isn't about extremes, it's about consistency. Step by step, you don't just change your body, you recalibrate your life.